What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys back yet again. More Destiny 2 action, and this is your weekly XUR equipment review. In this video, we're going to go ahead, as we've always done, talk through the equipment, take a look at it, kind of compare it to what we've seen in the past and what some of the other good weapons and equipment are out there, just to give you an idea of what XUR is packing and where to find him as well for this weekly reset. So, as everybody knows, weekly reset happened on Tuesday. Those happen Tuesday mornings, at least for us on the Eastern time. Your milestones obviously all reset. We do have the daily faction rally events going on as well, so make sure to get out there, grab those tokens. And for this week, it seems like XUR always happens to be on whatever location the flashpoint is on, so he is going to be on Io. Here, we're going to go to Giant's Scar. That's going to be the closest quick location to jump to, and we will head that way. So I will say, I've already obviously seen the equipment prior to recording this. It seems like a better week for the equipment. I'm pretty happy. I'm generally happy with the first weapon that we're going to take a look at. I know obviously everyone's going to differ on opinion, but seems like pretty good. Armor has some viability, at least for a couple of classes, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Don't mind my terrible driving here. I just got my driver's license on my little speeder here. But we're gonna take a look. Like I said, it seems like a pretty good week overall. This is a quick trip to XUR. He's just kind of hiding in this cave back here, which typically has been spawning pretty tough enemies. So it's probably good that he's back here, because I'm hoping nothing will spawn in here with you while he's here. And he is actually one pretty creepy looking dude like that. I like him. I mean, he's got good stuff, but he is a weirdo. So let's take a look. Jumping into this, obviously 4 pieces of equipment as we've always get, and we get the Risk Runner here, which is the Submachine Gun, obviously. So I'm sitting at about 302 light right now on my Titan, which I'm pretty happy with. This stuff, if you're above the 270 mark, will always come in at 270 for you. We'll pop in and we'll take a look. First of all, this thing looks mean. I'm not the biggest fan of the shader that's on it, but the weapon itself as a submachine gun looks really neat. This pretty much makes me want to use this weapon just by itself, for just the sole fact of how they've modeled it, but pretty good. Looks like decent stats on the impact range, stability, everything like that. We do get the +5 kinetic mod, which is pretty cool. And then we get Arc Conductor. So when taking arc damage, the weapon becomes more powerful, and kills will extend, and it actually has it does arc damage, and then kills will extend that capability. We also have the Arrowhead Break, which is going to greatly control recoil and also increases handling speed. You're going to see handling speed on this weapon. It's going to be pretty solid. We've got the extended mag, which increases the magazine size but does greatly decrease the reload speed, which seems like a pretty fair balancing mechanic to me, so I'm not too upset about that. We have Superconductor again. When it's active, shots fired have the chance to become chain lightning and return ammo. So that there alone seems pretty good. Definitely PvE. Seems like a pretty solid weapon. We'll have to check it out, use it a little bit, and see how it fares in PvP. I'm always a big fan of checking out the recoil and things like that. We also do have the short action stock, which greatly increases handling speed. So as far as a handling perspective, Submachine Gun's pretty cool. I do like the ability. Again, you take arc damage, it's going to kind of supercharge this weapon, and then you have the chance to chain damage as well. And also that arc damage will increase the weapon's power. So it has playability. I think it's pretty solid. That's a terrible comparison to a grenade launcher, but seems pretty solid. I am obviously going to pick all these up, and that actually seems like a weapon that I would use. We'll have to test it out again. I'm bigger on consistency than actual impact damage, although damage is obviously important. But for a submachine gun, you can always expect less damage but faster rate of fire. So we'll see. So we've got the Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves here with the acceleration mod on it, which is going to increase the mobility. Pretty cool. This is for the Hunter class. You've got spring-loaded mounting as the intrinsic ability, which increases sidearm ready and reload speed. So not the worst of abilities, if you ask me, especially if you're a sidearm user, but maybe not the best. You also have the option, the trait, you can either do enhanced mobility or you can do increased resistance. Now I actually like this. I like the ability, and you'll see this on a lot of the exotic equipment, on the armor at least, that you can swap between and kind of balance your armor. The fact that you can balance this one out seems pretty good. We don't get a preview because I'm not a hunter, I'm a Titan. They look pretty cool, I guess. But definitely, if you're a sidearm user, this has some playability. That's a pretty good ability if you are a sidearm user, but beyond that, just a decent piece of equipment overall. But if you need something, and you need something in the exotic slot, not a terrible way to go. Plus the mod is pretty good, allowing you to increase movement speed is always pretty solid. So Hollowfire Heart is actually gonna get close to hitting me in the heart. I actually love the way this thing looks. This piece of chest armor here for the Titan is really neat. You get Sunfire Furnace, wow, which greatly improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities while Hammer of Soul is charged. So if you've got a full super and you've got that going and you haven't used it yet, the rest of your abilities, grenades, shields, all that stuff, melee abilities, is all going to recharge faster. Just look how cool that looks. The fact that you got the flames at the bottom, the chest piece just looks brutal. I'm going to probably end up using it just for the sole fact of how cool it looks. But I also think PvP has the percent chance of it being pretty decent. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of a solar impact mod here with solar melee abilities recharging faster, although with Sunfire Furnace greatly improving recharge rate for all of the abilities, and then that stacking on top of it, we're talking your melee ability recharging at astronomical speeds. Again, I would probably end up changing that because I do like to have a little bit more balanced armor. I like the more simplistic, just adding ability to them, to the armor stats in general for the +5, but definitely has playability. We do have the chance of changing from resistance to recovery and adding the +5 there, so you do have the chance of getting a pretty balanced chest piece as well, which is pretty good. Again, I'm a big fan of balancing the armor, and I do see a lot of people using Hammer of Soul in PvP, so I think this has the capability potentially to be pretty good, especially if you're a wall user as far as the ability, or the grenades recharging quickly by themselves as well. I think it has a chance to be pretty decent. I'm definitely going to use it, equip it, just again because it looks so cool. And maybe swapping the legendary mod on it would definitely make it viable. And then for the last piece of equipment here, we have the Transversive Steps, which is leg armor for the Warlock. Again, pretty decent mobility and recovery here. We have the Strange Protractor, which while sprinting, movement speed is going to be increased, and then your energy weapon is actually going to be reloaded, which is pretty neat. We do get the self-repairing mod, which again are my favorite personally, because they just increase the base stats, so you get +5 to recovery here, so I do like that. And then with the traits that you'll see we'll swap here, we got another chance to get a pretty balanced piece of armor, which I do really appreciate. Again, I think these are the best mods in the game. Now obviously you can really fine-tune all your different pieces of armor and really get yourself some good stacking abilities, but just up front with a single piece, definitely prefer just the base +5s, adding the abilities or adding the traits onto it. So again, this, while sprinting, is going to increase your movement speed, and energy weapons will automatically be reloaded, which is pretty nice because that's going to allow you, especially kind of PvP, to get in, get out, move quickly, and then not have to worry about reloading your energy weapon. So if your energy weapon is something that you use a lot, this has the potential to be pretty good. Definitely PvE. I think there's reasons and definite reasons you'd want to use this, and you do have the ability to change to increase resistance and take a little bit of the mobility away, really throwing +5 and everything, which again goes back to the balance, and I like. We don't get a chance to take a look at them because I'm obviously not the class, but they do look pretty cool in the small snapshot that we get. And a pretty decent ability, again, especially if you're going to use that energy weapon a lot, or if you're kind of the more run and gun style of play, and you like to get in, get out quick, move quickly. This again will allow you to kind of just not have to worry about reloading that weapon, which is pretty neat. So overall, General impressions of this: seems like the best week we've had so far. As always, I'm going to buy all 4 of them. I'm going to keep them. I'm obviously working on the rest of my classes. Now these are obviously underpowered for what I have currently, but a quick infusion will help me go. So not bad, really not too bad. Again, some pretty good balanced armor across the board, some pretty good abilities, especially if you're a Hammer of Soul user, or if you can kind of work it with the submachine gun to kind of go up against enemies that you know are going to use arc damage. And then again, those hunters or the warlocks leg armor seems like it has the capability to have some pretty good playstyle efficiencies as well. So just a quick short video. That's what we got. That's what XUR is packing for this week. He is live now. Obviously he comes in early Friday morning, and he will stick around until I think late Sunday or very first thing Monday morning. So be sure to go out, take a look at the gear, see if anything can help you out, especially if you are below that 265 cap. This is a good chance to go out and get some gear that's going to be a little bit powered up, fill one of those slots, and maybe pick up some good abilities on the way. So I've been Doc with Average Gamer, guys. A little bit more Destiny 2 action for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully it was helpful for you. As always, if you haven't already, please do make sure to subscribe, throw a like on this video if it was helpful to you, and comment down below what you think the best equipment, or what the best week of equipment has been so far. My money's on this one for what we've seen over the last couple weeks. But yeah, as always, we'll have more Destiny 2. We've got a bunch more Rocket League, as well as Halo Wars 2 action. It's just a flurry of games going on right now. So just make sure, hit that subscribe, hit that bell button, and we should be good to go. But Doc from Average Gamer, guys, thanks so much for checking this one out, spending a few minutes of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.